while the pandemic has taken a lot from us, we still have the ability to connect with one another and still have the ability to show compassion and love and care for one another. And we just shouldn't lose that.
Hi, my name is Bobby Masters. I am the literary manager at Stage Left. We are preparing for our next live event, the Spring Fling, a 10-minute play festival running May 27th through the 29th at North Town Center Square. For the next couple of weeks, I'll be meeting with playwrights, writing for the festival. Today, I am with Christian Helem. Welcome, Christian.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be back.
This time you're actually serving as a playwright and a director, but the play that we're going to talk about today is called Tofu Chitlin Burrito Supreme. Can we talk about that
title? Absolutely. So I wanted something that stuck out and sounded like a dance crew, or something that is going to kind of also culminate the different cultures in the piece. And the two characters in it, both of them have some conversations about culture and about how much culture you should be putting out there, and how much of it you should be keeping to yourself, and where does exploitation start. So I felt as though the name had to go right with that. Yeah.
But you talked about the idea of culture, and I think this is an excellent play. I've had a chance to read it a couple of times, and I think that you find a nice balance with humor and a lot of tough issues that are happening currently, including the attacks on Asian communities. Forced evictions is a theme happening in this play, and then this idea of what constitutes as culture. You have this idea of theater or arts coming back through this dance troupe. And it's what the audiences are going to be wanting when we come back. But your play also has a tinge of optimism. Are you feeling optimistic?
Yeah, I am definitely feeling optimistic. To speak to what you said earlier, about the different types of conversations that are happening here, a lot of things are just coming to a head. You know what I mean? It's not things that are new. It's not things that didn't exist pre-pandemic, you know what I mean? Or in any way it was in a lesser form, pre-pandemic. These are all things that have already existed. Forced evictions for not just people of color, but poor people, right? But these two things are connected because people of color make up, a larger majority of the poor and lower middle class Americans. So, a lot of this has already been going on, and the pandemic has just kind of exacerbated it and allowed people who are not living those lives every day to sit down and actually start to understand what people are going through, just a few miles from their house. I am feeling optimistic though. And you've got to be a little optimistic, and otherwise, you'll just give up.
And it seems like we're focusing a lot on the heavier issues, but it's a comedy. At its heart, don't you think it's light enough?
Yeah, and I wrote it like that. I think it's important to speak to the world in which characters live, not and see how where the characters are and what I want to talk about as a playwright meet. And the two guys, they are funny. They are, you know what I mean? They have known each other for years, and they're able to just go back and forth with each other, you know what I mean? And make jokes to one another like you would with your best friend. So I wanted to keep with who they are, but at the same time, even the funniest people are going through some of the most difficult circumstances behind closed doors. And, our main character, even though he's showing up, he's doing everything. All things considered, he's doing everything right. And his family is doing as much right as they can, but there comes a time when the circumstances are just bigger.
I appreciate you saying that because I feel like I know these people. I mean, I think that you've added so much
That's
to these
good.
characters. I do have one last question,
Mhm.
which is not related. It's kind of related to the theme. But if you could go back in time to February 2020, what would you tell yourself?
If I could go back to February 2020, what I would tell myself is to find contentment with where I am.
Mm,
Spent a nice majority of the beginning of quarantine fighting it, and trying so hard to get out of it and like be like, this is just for a second. I don't have to really sink into it. But then when I actually started to sink into it, I actually started this journey of self discovery that, I don't know when that would have started. So I think that would be the thing I would tell myself is to be content with this moment because there is a lesson in it. The uncomfortable parts are the lesson. So, yeah.
Well, thank you very much for your time, Christian. I'm looking forward to seeing the play later this month.
Thank you so much, Bobby.
Bye.